Thanks for downloading this podcast from Absolute Radio, the home of the no repeat guarantee.
Drugs have an involuntary effect on the eyes that you can't control. The police can spot this, and the penalties are exactly the same as those for drink driving. Drug driving. Your eyes will give you away.
Right, it is Absolute Radio. This is Ben Jones, and let's welcome him back to the building, but it's the first time he's been here since we become Absolute Radio about a year ago. Jon Bon Jovi is here. Good to see you.
Hey, it's good to be here. These are some fancy digs you got.
We got some nice little studio. We're in the basement today, and this is a place where not many people come, so...
It's just like the Situation Room in the White House. You know, this is where all the big, deep, dark secrets go on, but, you know, bomb goes off outside, we'd never know it, but we'd keep broadcasting from Absolute.
You see, I always thought it was a bit like CTU from 24, but you're
see, we all live our, our reality. Yours is on TV, mine's in the White House.
Well, you get to hang out with people at the White House. My reality is telly. You are, on first name terms with Mr. President. But here we go again, and life is about to go crazy for Bon Jovi. Again, it's a position you've been in many, many times. Do you still get that buzz?
Yeah, I'm excited. It is true that whenever you get a record finished and you want to share it with people, you get excited, because you don't know what the reaction's going to be. I've been sitting on this thing for a better part of a year, and now people are just starting to hear it, and you want to hear what they think of it. So, it's the great unknown right now.
But the success of the last album, of Lost Highway, must have filled the band with a renewed sense of purpose, 25 years on from the debut.
Yes. It was really nice, because to tell you the truth, I made the mistake of telling the world that Bon Jovi was going down to make a Nashville record, and they thought, oh my God, here comes Clint Black, and, Alan Jackson's going to start hanging out at Bon Jovi shows. But we made somewhat of a Nashville-influenced record, and the tour proved to be very successful, as was the record, so couldn't help it, and that we started writing a year ago now, in light of what happened in the world, with all the economies and stuff. This record came, and now we're genuinely excited, and feel like it's time to go back on the road.
But you don't seem to sit on your laurels, though. I mean, the Lost Highway tour was a huge tour, far more successful than I think you even imagined it was going to be. And I thought you would have relaxed, you'd have chilled out, you'd have swum, you'd have taken a holiday. But here you are, but as you say, a year later with a new album, and you're excited about it again.
I would have bet everything that there was no chance that we'd have a record, 14 months after the tour ended. But in light of like I said, what happened with the world's economy, the bubble bursting, America electing a new president, there was a lot of subject matter there. And initially I was holding on to the songs. I started to share them with some folks at the record company, and they said, when you got a good bunch of songs, you really shouldn't hold on to them, because you're either going to write more and not like these anymore, or they're going to become dated because they're about a certain time and place, So we really did not expect or intend to do a studio record. If anything, we were going to do a greatest hits with a couple tracks on it. But when you hear the rest of the record, not just the single that you guys are playing, you'll understand why it was a timely record.
It's very much about now, I suppose,
yeah. It's, like I said, with the election of President Obama in America, or the economic bubble bursting, or people having to pick themselves up in light of what's happened in the last year. The world was a different place a year ago. Almost to the day. It was a much different place.
Despite the fact that we are in this sort of economic downturn, I do feel that the world has become slightly more optimistic.
Today.
Particularly what has happened in America. And I feel the whole world has become slightly more optimistic. It's all eyes on... I do feel sorry for Obama, because it's all eyes on this one man to be Superman and to kind of save the world. And I guess only time will tell what the hell's going to happen there.
Yeah, of course. But there is a bit of optimism. And in light of what happened, like I said, with the economic bubble bursting and getting rid of the last president that we had, and the election of this one, it's not an easy gig, but there was a lot of subject matter there to write about, and all you had to do was just be aware of what was going on. So we did. Born to Follow, the single that you're playing, was the 24th song written, and the final song written for this record, but that song could not have been written 1 year ago, because it took, like I said, this bubble bursting, the world changing, people to go to rock bottom, to pick themselves back up, to get to this place where they feel a little more optimistic about tomorrow. And Follow became the last song written for the record. So like a bookend, it made sense, and it was time to get it out.
So for songwriters like you and Richie, the last year has been a a good way of writing songs. There's been some good subject matter there,
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to hearing the rest of the album. You have achieved, just unbelievable success over the last 25 years. You've played the world 100 times over. You are rich beyond your wildest dreams. I'm sure you're friends with the president, for God's sake. What motivates you to get out of bed and to do this again? Because to come into here and talk to people like me, and you're going to do hundreds of these interviews, and you're going to go to places all over the world, and you're going to get tired and jaded. What motivates you now?
I'd be tired and jaded if I was home, though. So I might as well be tired and jaded here in your studio.
I can get you anything you want.
I just came for the coffee and the free T-shirt. Damn. The motivation, I don't know. It just comes from a pure place. A singer's got to sing, and a songwriter's got to write a song. And then when you write a song that you like, you want to share it with people. And when you're done with making that record, then you really want to get it out there to see how people are going to react to it. It comes from a genuine place. There's no other reason. I'm not doing it because we have to. Not doing it because somebody else is forcing us to. You really do want to wake up in the morning and do this for a living. I enjoy my job.
It's the best job in the world, isn't it?
Good job. Really good job.
I enjoy my job. I get to play your music. But to actually be you, that would be even cooler, I'm thinking.
No, it doesn't suck.
How close, though, over these 25 years, and the reason I keep saying 25 years is obviously the Circle kind of marks the 25th anniversary of the debut record. Mm-hmm. How close have you been to calling it a day? Because it's hard to keep a band together.
It is hard to keep a band together. It's like a family, and you're going to have your ups and your downs. And I think the only time we got tired of it was after the New Jersey record in '89, the beginning of 1990, when we said, this is just not what it's cracked up to be. And that's when you learned that the words were the music business, and there was business of music, and you went, wow, this is not fun. So we got run down, and that's really the tipping point for a lot of bands. When you're 4 records in that case, and you get to that 4th and 5th album, that's when bands start cracking, because they got to figure out, you either go forward or you fall back. We could have fallen back, but we figured it out.
Tell us about your relationship with Richie Sambora, because Mick has Keith, John had Paul, Steve Tyler's got Joe Perry. I mean, the two of you seem closer than ever.
It's true. I'm so proud of Richie, and so excited to talk about where he's been and where he is. And I mean, he's just in great physical and mental shape. He's rebounded from the couple of years that he wasn't doing so well, and it's really evident on this record. But we are very, very close. We are like best friends and brothers, and there's a lot of mutual admiration and trust, and it's based on a real honest-to-God friendship. You always heard about Keith and Mick. I mean, we all read what we read, but I'm sure at the core of their being, anybody ever said anything bad about either one of them, they'd punch him in the nose. Keith can bitch about Mick all he wants, but if you or I were to say something, he'd probably pull out that blade from his boot and use it on us. So you look out for your guys at the end of the day.
This last decade as well, you seem to have been more proactive in